She was standing in the dirt, toes split, dried blood across the nail beds. Her dress was wrong for the heat, long-sleeved, torn at the hem, eyes steady, arms hanging loose. He didn't open the door all the way. "What do you want?" She tilted her head, just a little. "You lost?" She didn't nod. "You need something to eat?" No response. "You mute?" She stepped forward. Dust rose. He reached for the shotgun, leaning behind the door. Slow, deliberate. She didn't flinch. "You shouldn't be here." "Papa!" He stopped breathing. The word came flat, empty. No question about it. Just sound. He stepped out, closed the door behind him. "Say that again." She looked at the porch swing. Eyes flicked to the rope. One side hung lower. "Where's your folks?" She sat, quiet. "Answer me." Her eyes were dark. Not scared, just waiting. "I ain't got no kids." She stared at him. "You're not mine." She blinked. "I never saw you." She reached into her pocket, pulled out a slip of paper, folded 6 times. "Hold it up." He didn't take it. "What is it?" She held it higher. He grabbed it, unfolded it. Name scrawled in ink. His name. The last name was missing. Just Elias. "Where'd you get this?" "Mama said you'd yell." He crumpled it. "Where is she?" "She died." He stepped back. "When?" 3 days ago." "How?" "Fire." He looked at her again. The soot around her neck, the way her dress curled at the sleeve like it had once burned. He swallowed. "What's your name?" She didn't answer. "You got one or not?" She stood. I walked to the porch steps, sat again. "Don't sit there." She stayed. He opened the door. "Are you hungry?" She didn't move. "I got bread. Water, nothing." "Suit yourself." He stepped inside, left the door open, pulled a tin from the counter, dried cornbread, stale but edible. When he came back, she was holding the shotgun. "Put it down." She didn't aim for it, just cradled it. "Now." She looked at him. "I didn't touch the trigger." "That's not the point." She handed it back. He took it slow, set it down against the door frame. "Have you ever shot one?" "No." "Ever seen someone shoot one?" She nodded. "Who?" "Sheriff." "Who'd he shoot?" She turned away. He sat on the steps, set the bread between them. "What's your name?" "Doesn't matter." "It does to me." "Not if you're leaving." "I didn't say that." "You thought about it." He exhaled. "What was your mama's name?" "She said not to say it." "Why?" "She said if I did, they'd come." "Who's they?" "The ones who buried her first." He stared at her. "You said she died in a fire." "She did." "Then what's that mean?" She picked at the crust of the bread. "They tried. Once. Didn't work." He looked past her, toward the barn, toward nothing. "Where'd you come from?" "Church Road." "That's 20 miles." "I walked." "No shoes." "No choice." He stood. "You got burns?" "No." "You sure?" She held up her arms, pale lines, soot under the skin, like something tried to leave but didn't make it. "Inside's worse." He turned. I walked back in, came out with a basin of water. "Wash." She dipped her hands. He handed her a cloth. She scrubbed. "You got anyone else?" "No." "Uncles? Aunts?" "No." "Why me?" "Mama said you'd take me." He leaned against the post. "She says why." "She said you'd remember." He didn't move. "Remember what?" She looked up. "Her name." His jaw clenched. "She told you what it was." "She said if I spoke it, I'd lose it." He stepped off the porch. I walked to the edge of the yard, hands in his pockets. The wind stirred. Crows somewhere. Dry leaves in a corner that didn't belong to fall. He came back. "You can stay the night." "That's it?" "Okay." "You sleep on the floor." "I've done worse." "No talking after sundown." "I don't talk much." "No noise." "No moving around." "I don't sleep much either." He opened the door. "Let her in." She stood in the doorway. "You can call me Elias." "Not Papa." She didn't nod, didn't speak. But when she passed him, he caught the whisper. "Mama said you'd try that too." She was out by the barn when he woke. Same dress, same silence. Bare feet in the cold dirt. Circles. Her fingers dragging the line slowly. Deep. Not perfect ones. Loops with gaps like something had broken and rejoined. Over and over. Always starting again. He didn't call her, just watched. The dog had been missing for 2 days. I showed up this morning, limping, ribs showing, quiet as her. It went to her like it knew her scent. She didn't flinch when it came close. She held out her hand. It licked her wrist. She whispered something, too low for him to hear. The dog laid down, right in the center of the biggest circle. Elias stepped off the porch. "You feed it?" She didn't turn. "Dog ain't been around in days. He doesn't come near anybody anymore." She scratched the dog's neck. "Guess he remembered." "That's funny to you." She shrugged. "You still haven't told me your name." "I don't like it." "Still yours." "Wasn't mine first." He stared at her. "You want food?" She shook her head. "You didn't eat yesterday." "Don't get hungry much." "That's not a thing." She stood. I looked at him full on. "Want me gone?" "I didn't say that." "Then why yell?" "Because nothing makes sense." She walked past him, toward the porch. The dog followed. He grabbed her arm. She froze. "You don't just show up with my name on a paper and call me father." "I didn't write it." "You still said it." She looked down. "I thought maybe if I did, you'd remember sooner." "Remember what?" She sat on the steps. He let go. "You're not mine." She looked up. "Mama said you'd say that." "You keep saying that." "'Cause she said you would." "And what else did she say?" "That you don't lie." "You just forget." He rubbed his face. "Does your mother have a name?" "I told you." "No, you didn't." "She told me not to." "Why?" "She said you'd hear it when you were ready." "I'm not a riddle." She nodded once. "Neither was she." "Not till they made her one." "Who's they?" "Men with boots." "What kind of boots?" "Sheriff kind." He sat beside her. "Where's she buried?" "She isn't." "What?" "They didn't bury her. They left her." His voice tightened. "Where?" "Church steps." He stared straight ahead. "That place burned years ago." She nodded. "Not all of it." He didn't speak. The dog climbed into her lap. "What's his name?" "I don't know." "He's mine." "You named him." She petted him slowly. "Then maybe he forgot too." He stood. "I got work." She followed him to the shed. "You can't just sit behind me all day." "I don't mind staying quiet." He grabbed the axe. "I'm cutting wood." "That's it." She sat on a stump, folded her hands. He split 3 logs before speaking again. "Have you ever cut wood?" "No." "Ever watched someone?" "No." He looked at her. "What do you know how to do?" "Leave when I'm told." "You were told to come." "Not exactly." "What does that mean?" "She said if the dog came back, I'd be safe." He stopped mid-swing. "What dog?" She pointed. "That one?" She nodded. "That dog was buried. I put him on the ground." She looked at the animal. "He came back for me." He dropped the axe. "I don't want riddles in my yard." "Then stop asking questions you're scared to answer." He turned to her. "You don't know me." "You don't know me either." "I know enough." "No." "You think you do, but you don't ask the right things." He grabbed the axe again, split another log. "I'm not your father." She watched him work. "Not by choice." He didn't respond. The sun crept behind the trees. Shadows lengthened. She didn't move. When he finished, he turned. "Are you coming in or staying out?" She stood. The dog followed. Inside, he poured soup into 2 chipped bowls. She watched the steam. "You believe in ghosts?" "No." "Then you won't see her." "Who?" "My mother." He handed her the bowl. "Eat." She sipped once. Then I looked at him. "Is there a room we don't go in?" He stilled. "What room?" "I don't know yet." He stood. "I'm not playing games." "I know." She drank again. She used to pray over this kind of soup. Called it borrowed warmth. He looked down at his bowl. She spoke softer now. "She said you liked it when she sang." He didn't answer. "She said you had a scar." Left shoulder. He pulled the collar of his shirt, covered the old mark. "That doesn't prove anything." She nodded. "She said that too." They ate in silence. The wind knocked the porch swing once. The girl whispered, "She's close." He didn't look up, but he didn't ask her to leave either. He noticed it that morning. Glint of gold under her sleeve. She was stacking wood, one arm bent at the wrist, fingers curled like she didn't know she was hiding something. He caught it again when she brushed hair from her face. Are you wearing jewelry now? She looked down at her hand. Didn't answer. Let me see it. She pulled her sleeve back. Where'd you get that? She shrugged. That's a wedding band. I know. You find it out there? No. Then where? Mama gave it to me. He grabbed her wrist, not rough, but fast. Where'd she get it? She said it was hers. Before it wasn't, he stared at the engraving inside, the worn initials. You read this? No. It's not hers. She didn't flinch. It's mine. She tilted her head. So why was she wearing it? He let go. That ring was buried. She said nothing. 15 years ago, she walked past him. The dog followed. He stayed behind, hands still clenched. By noon, he was saddled. Get in the wagon. Where are we going? You'll see. She climbed in, sat without asking. The sheriff's office sat half sunk into the hill, white paint flaking, shutters gone. Sheriff Buck was already on the porch, spitting into a tin. You lost? Need a word. Looks like you brought company. She's why I'm here. The girl didn't move. Kid yours? No. Looks like you. She's not mine. The sheriff stepped forward. Well, I'll be damned, he muttered. What? He pointed. That ring. The girl tucked her hand behind her. Let me see it, the sheriff said. She won't, Elias answered. I wasn't asking you. The girl stared at him, unblinking. You got a name, sweetheart? She stayed silent. Suit yourself. He lit a cigarette. Where'd she get that? Elias shook his head. You don't know? No. She says. She said it was her mother's. Hell it was. He stepped off the porch, took the cigarette out his mouth. That ring's been buried with my wife for 15 years. Elias's jaw tensed. I know. No, I don't think you do. 'Cause I dug that grave myself. Maybe you didn't dig deep enough. The sheriff's face darkened. What the hell's that supposed to mean? I'm just saying, maybe something came loose. You accusing me of something, Elias? No, just asking. The sheriff turned to the girl. You speak. She held up her hand. The ring glinted in sunlight. You still wear it? She nodded. He laughed once, dry. Where'd you find it? She didn't answer. Your mama stole it off a grave? She said it never fit right. The sheriff blinked. What? She said it always slid off when she ran. His mouth opened, then closed. That's not. She said the stone was too smooth. Slipped in water. The sheriff looked at Elias. You feed her that story? No. Is she saying your wife wore it? She said her mother did. The sheriff pointed again. That's not possible. I agree. But there it is. Yep. They stood in silence. The girl stepped forward. You remember your wife's hands? Excuse me. Were they big? The sheriff looked rattled. Why? Because this ring fits me. He took a slow step back. She said you'd remember if I wore it. He rubbed the back of his neck. Are you trying to scare me? No. Then what is this? She looked at Elias. You brought me here. Ask him. The sheriff turned. Is this a joke? I wish it was. You think she's telling the truth? I think something's wrong. The sheriff spit, missed the tin. You should leave her at the orphan house. She walked 20 miles to find me. She knew where you lived. She had a letter. Who wrote it? She said to her mother. Who was her mother? She won't say. The sheriff stepped back onto the porch. You still got that grave? Elias nodded. I want to see it. The girl whispered, so do I. They rode in silence. The cemetery sat behind the church ruins. Grass high, stones leaning. Elias stopped at the last row. Right there. The sheriff stepped out. The girl stood between them. I want to dig it up, she said. Elias flinched. The sheriff shook his head. No. Are you afraid? Hell yes. Then I'll do it. She stepped toward the mound. You don't touch that grave, the sheriff said. She said if we did, we'd find the second ring. There was only one. She said that's a lie. The sheriff backed away. Put her in a house, Elias. Get her out of here. Elias didn't speak. Before you start digging up ghosts neither of us are ready for. The girl knelt by the grave, pressed her hand to the dirt. I just wanted to know if she wore it when she ran. The dog howled once in the distance, and Elias remembered something he hadn't. In years, his wife saying she lost the ring near the well, not the grave, not the fire, near the water. She left at dawn, quiet. Barefoot again. He found the door swinging. The dog is gone too. She didn't take food, didn't leave a note. Just her bowl in the sink, rinsed clean. He saddled up fast. By the time he found her, the sun was up and the air was thick with the old smoke that never left that place. The church had burned 8 years ago. Half the roof is gone. The bell melted into the floor. She was inside, kneeling where the altar used to be. "You deaf?" he called. She didn't turn. He dismounted. I walked slowly, stepped over the broken threshold. "Could have told me. You would have said no." She was brushing soot from the back wall, hands black, sleeves dark with ash. He stepped closer. "What are you doing?" She didn't answer, just kept wiping. "You don't belong here." "Neither do you." She didn't say it, but he heard it anyway. "You shouldn't touch anything." She paused, stared at the wall. "Come look." "I've looked enough." "Not like this." He hesitated. Then I walked up. She stepped aside, and there it was, carved rough, crooked, deep into the charred boards, the soot around it scraped clean. "Elias." He swallowed. "You do that?" She shook her head. "Then who?" "Don't know. That wasn't there before. Maybe you weren't ready to see it." He stepped back. "You don't know what this place was. I know it burned. A lot of things burn. But not names." He looked at her hard. "I never told anyone." "I know. Not even her." She touched the wall, just below the name. She knew anyway. He looked around. The pews were black stumps. The cross was gone, just a scorching shadow left behind. He walked to the pulpit, what was left of it, bent down, picked up a fragment. "Have you ever preached?" She nodded. "Once. In a dream. Did it help?" "No." He sat on the step. "This place. It wasn't just sermons. We gave food, took in women, helped with births. I thought I was doing good. What happened? The sheriff said I stepped too far. And one night it lit up. Fire from inside. No wind, no storm, just flames. You think he did it?" "I think I did." She sat beside him. "Your name didn't burn." "No." "You think that means something?" "I think I don't know anymore." She looked up at the wall again. "She said you used to sing." He nodded. "She said it made the babies quiet." He laughed once. "Some babies." "Not all. She said I was born quiet." He looked at her. "You were born near here." She never said where. "Just that I came during a storm, and that you were gone." He stared at the open roof. "I was gone a lot." She said you didn't run. "Just disappeared." He nodded. She said that's different. The dog barked outside, once, then silence. "You think that name's always been there?" she asked. "No." "Then who scratched it?" "I don't know." "You think she did?" "I don't think she came back after." "She did." He looked at her. "She stood here before she died." He didn't ask how she knew. She reached into her pocket, pulled out something small, a broken match, burnt at one end. "She used this," she whispered. He took it, fingers shaking. "What lit it?" "No, it's what she kept." He looked back at the wall. His name still there, still sharp. "She wasn't angry," the girl said. "She should have been. She just wanted you to come back." He stood. "Come on." She stayed kneeling. "I'm not done yet. We shouldn't be here." She said I'd know when it was time to leave. "And is it?" She didn't answer. He waited. She touched the last letter in his name, then stood. And when they walked out together, he didn't look back. But the soot on her palms stayed. And in the saddlebag, he kept the broken match. He found it by accident. She was outside again, sitting under the pecan tree, braiding stems into loops. The dog at her feet, tail still. Inside, her blanket was thrown messy over the cot. He wasn't snooping. He was cleaning. The pillow shifted. Something slid out from underneath. He bent down. I picked it up. It was small, ragged. A doll made from old linen and thread. One eye is missing. The dress faded red. And the mouth, stitched tight with thick black thread, pulled cruel across the face like it hurt to speak. He turned it over in his hands. A tag stitched into the back. Just a few crooked letters. SR. He didn't recognize them. I didn't want to. Outside, she stood, just watching. He didn't call her in. She came anyway. He held up the doll. "This is yours." She nodded once. "Why was it hidden?" She shrugged. You sleep with this." She walked to the cot, took it gently from his hands. "Mama gave it to me." "Why's it like that?" "Like what?" "Stitched like that." She didn't answer. "You do this?" "No." "Your mother." She looked down at the doll, rubbed her thumb across the threads. "She said not to scream." He sat on the edge of the bed. "She said if I screamed, they'd hear." "Who?" She didn't say anything. "Girl, who?" She turned the doll around. "I don't know their names." "Describe them." "Smelled like fire. Wore dark coats. Never talked." He rubbed his hands over his face. "Where was this?" "The house." "The second one?" "There were two. First was red. The second was gray. The second one was worse." He looked at the doll again. "You said your mama gave you this?" "After they left." "She sewed it." "She fixed it." "Fix it how?" "She said she needed to remember." "Remember what?" "To stay quiet." He stood. I walked to the window. "Why hide it?" "Sometimes I forget and talk too much." "You don't talk too much." "She said I might." "Is she wrong?" She shrugged. "You scream at night?" "Not out loud." He turned to her. "Have you ever thought about cutting those threads?" "No." "Why?" "She said if I did, it'd come back." "What would you do?" "She never said." He walked to the stove, lit the burner. "You want coffee?" She sat at the table, doll in her lap. "I don't drink coffee." "You want something?" "No." He poured water anyway. "She said you used to drink it black." He stopped mid-pour. "Does she say a lot about me?" "She said you used to wear gloves. Even in summer." He didn't answer. "She said you had a burn." He touched his wrist, covered it. "Why do you hide your hand?" He looked at her. She held the doll upright in her arms like it was breathing. "Are you scared of this thing?" he asked. "No." "Then why hold it like that?" "To remind me." "Of what?" She met his eyes. "That I got out." He set the mug down in front of her. "You sure you did?" "No." He sat across from her. "What happened in the gray house?" She looked at the window. "They put us in corners. Wouldn't let us move. Said if we moved, they'd start over." "Start what over?" "Whatever they were doing." "What were they doing?" She held the doll tighter. "Counting. Watching. Writing things. Whispering." He leaned forward. "They hurt you?" She nodded. "Will they ever come back?" "They always come back." He stared at her. "How long were you there?" "Long enough for her hair to turn white," he breathed out. "She died in that house." "No, she ran with me." "She carried you?" "I carried her." She reached under her collar, pulled something out. A pendant. Inside it, ashes. Part of her. He swallowed. "You wear that all the time?" "Yes." "She says to?" "She said if I dropped it, I'd forget how to find you." The wind knocked the shutter once. He stood. "You want to burn the doll?" "No." "Why not?" "She's not the thing that hurt me." "Then what is?" The girl stood. "Whatever's still looking." She walked to the hearth, set the doll down, not on the fire, just near it. "I'm not hiding it anymore." He nodded. She looked at him. "You believe me now?" "I don't know." "You believe she wore the ring?" "I think I have to." She walked to the door. She said she remembers well. "What well?" "The one near the fence line." "There's nothing there." "There used to be." He looked back at the doll mouth still sealed. "Tomorrow," she said. "Tomorrow what?" "We dig." And then she went to bed, left the doll by the fire. The dog curled beside it, watched the threads like it expected them to move. She didn't knock on his door, just stood there, just past dawn. Braid crooked, dog at her heel, dirt already on her hands. "Get dressed," she said. He didn't ask why. By the time he stepped out, she was halfway across the pasture. "You're going to tell me what we're doing." She didn't turn. "No." "Are you going to speak at all?" "When it's time." The grass got taller near the back fence. He hadn't walked this far in years. Land thinned out, got quiet in a different way, like a sound I forgot how to carry. She pointed to a circle of stone, mostly buried now, moss-covered, vines curling through broken mortar. "That's not a well," he muttered. It was. He kicked at the stones, hollow beneath. "Dug it up before?" "No." "Then how?" "She told me." He stared at her. "She never came this far." Not with you. He crouched, pulled away a few loose rocks, peered down. Dark. Not deep. Are you sure about this? She was already on her knees, fingers prying into the dirt like she'd done it before. Within minutes, a small wooden slat came loose. Beneath it, a space. Dry. No water. Just silence. She reached in, pulled out a bundle, cloth-wrapped, tied with twine. He knelt beside her, took the bundle in his hands. The cloth smelled like cedar, maybe smoke. Have you ever seen these? She shook her head. But you knew they'd be here. She said I'd feel it. He untied the twine. Letters. Dozens. Folded. Faded. Each one sealed with wax, not stamped, just pressed with a thumb. The first had his name. Just Elias. He opened it. His hands shook. She didn't ask what it said. The second had hers. Full name. First. Middle. Then a last name he'd never heard before. He read it again. Same last name as his mother. He looked up. You see this? She nodded. Does that mean anything to you? Only what she said. What was that? That blood repeats. It doesn't die. He looked at the paper again. She said you'd think that name died with the church. It did. She said she didn't want to stay buried. He set the letters down. She tells you how long they've been here? No. She says who wrote them? No. You think it was her. She said she couldn't write anymore. He pulled another one open. No signature, just words. You left the room before they came. She asked if you'd scream. You didn't. We remembered that. He looked at her. Does this mean anything to you? She touched the edge of the well. She said it was a house for secrets. Who else knows it's here? Nobody that breathes. The dog. Whined once. He picked up the whole bundle. I don't want these here. She didn't move. I'm burning them. No. I don't care. She said fire doesn't end memories. He stood. I'm not keeping them. You don't have to. He turned to her. Then what? Bury them again. Why bring me here if I was just going to put them back? She said you needed to feel it. That's different. He looked at the writing. Some of it smeared. Some of it is sharp. She said the paper knows you. He dropped the bundle. Stop saying that. Saying what? What she said. I'm not making it up. I know. She picked up one letter. Your name's here again. He took it. I opened it. You left before the fire, but the fire remembered. They buried the badge, not the body. She carried the sound. She gave it to the child. He sat down. These aren't letters. She nodded. They're instructions. Instructions for what? To remember. He looked back toward the house. You think I'm cursed? No. You think this land is? Yes. He didn't argue. She leaned closer. There's a reason you don't sleep right. He almost laughed. You think paper and thread and a name in ash make me haunted. She said nothing. He stood. I'm putting them back. He stuffed the letters into the cloth. Maybe that's what she wanted. She watched as he lowered them into the dark. He covered the hole, stacked the stones again. When he was done, he didn't speak. I just turned and walked. She followed. Halfway back, she asked, What did yours say? He didn't stop walking. It said I left the door open. She looked down at her feet. She said you didn't mean to. No, I didn't, but you still did. He didn't answer. They walked the rest of the way in silence. Behind them, the well stayed shut, but the dog wouldn't go near it again. He was fixing the loft boards when he saw the edge of it. Just a corner sticking out from behind a beam, folded and yellowed, tucked into a crack, like someone had shoved it there fast. He pulled it loose. Old photo, warped from time. A woman in an apron standing in front of a split-rail fence, hands behind her back, blood on her sleeve, hair tied tight, eyes steady. He stared at the face. Something about the mouth. Not smiling, not frowning, just waiting. Then he looked at the eyes. Same shape, same stillness. He turned the photo over. No date, no names, just a fingerprint in the corner, pressed hard enough to smudge. He heard the door creak. She stood at the bottom of the ladder, holding the dog's collar. You dropped something. He climbed down. Where'd you find that? She asked. In the rafters. Can I see? He handed it to her. She stared at it a long time. That's her. Who? She touched the photo. The one who picked who stayed. He took it back. What does that mean? She said when the trucks came, they didn't take everyone. What trucks? She said there was a line. Some went left. Some went right. He studied the picture again. Is she the one who decided? She wore white gloves. Mama said they never got dirty, not even when the rest of her did. She works at the house? She ran it. Is she a nurse? No, she just had keys. He turned to the barn door. I've seen this necklace. She nodded. Same as the one they buried with your wife. He looked up sharply. How do you know that? You told the sheriff. I didn't think you were listening. I always listen. He looked at the photo again. She had no name. She had too many. Does your mama ever say one? She called her sister, but not like family church kind of sister. No, the kind that smiles when you cry. He folded the photo, put it in his pocket. We need to check something. Where? Sewing room. She didn't ask why. Inside, the room was still locked, the door warped from humidity. He kicked it once, twice. It opened on the third try. Dust floated thick. The air is stale. Fabric rolls along the wall. Thread spools sorted by color. A sewing machine rusted stiff. He pulled open drawers. Empty. She walked to the corner. There. What? That chest. It was small, lined in blue. He opened it. Inside, buttons, lace scraps, and a velvet pouch. He untied the string. Inside, a necklace. Same one. He held it up. She wore this in the photo. She wore it in the hallway, too. He froze. What hallway? The one where they waited. Before the picking. You saw her? I saw the boots first. He looked at the sewing machine again. A smear of something dry ran down the leg. She sewed clothes. She sewed numbers. He turned. On what? Gowns, collars, skin. He nearly dropped the necklace. That can't be. She said numbers don't lie, but names do. He opened the bottom drawer. Papers, ledger sheets, dates and columns. He flipped to the last page. Only one name, Elias. Next to it, a box marked returned. He stepped back. She pointed. That means you left. He stared. She said you ran before the fire. I never saw this. But you were here. He nodded slowly. She wanted to forget you. Then why keep this? Because forgetting takes more work. He opened a second drawer. More photos. Faces blurred. All girls, all in line. One had her eyes. He handed it to her. She stared. That's not me. You sure? She had no scar. He pulled up her sleeve, looked at the pale mark across her wrist. Where'd that come from? She said it was to tell the difference. Difference between what? Ones who stayed. Ones who went. He stood. We need to burn this. No? Why not? She said the truth doesn't burn. Only the proof. He looked at the ledgers again, at the name. You think this woman's still alive? No. But she left you something? She left me here. He placed the necklace back in the pouch. She whispered. She said if you ever found it, you'd remember your room. He looked at her. What room? She pointed to the floor. Under this one. His chest tightened. There's no room under here. She said there was. Just locked differently. The dog growled. Low, quiet. They both looked down. A faint echo. Not a sound. A shift. Like air moving behind wood. He stepped back. Tomorrow. Not now. He touched his pocket. The photo is still there. Her eyes are still watching. He heard the truck before he saw it. Not the kind folks around here drove. New engine. Tires too smooth for gravel. By the time he stepped onto the porch, the dust was still hanging. 3 men got out, all in clean coats, matching boots. Not the sheriff's men. Not local. One held a clipboard. Elias? Who's asking? We're here for the child. What child? The girl. He didn't answer. Where is she? Not here. The tallest one stepped closer. No hesitation. She was reported seen. By who? The man didn't flinch. We have documentation. You got a warrant. This isn't that kind of visit. Then turn around. The clipboard man flipped a page. Name, Sarah Beth Ruth. Age estimated 10. Brown hair, burned scarring on left wrist, accompanied by an adult male. Name listed as Elias R. He went cold. She's not here. We have cause to believe otherwise. You believe wrong. The third man hadn't spoken yet. Small, pale, just watching the barn. Elias blocked the door. You step off my porch. We can come back with more. Then do it. The clipboard man stepped closer. You're already marked. Don't make it worse. You don't get to mark people out here. The short one finally spoke. Actually, we do. He said it quietly, flat. Behind them, the dog barked once, then went still. Elias didn't look back. She's gone. When? Yesterday. Where? Didn't say. That's convenient. You can search the yard if you want, Elias said, jaw tight. But you won't find her. The men exchanged a glance. We will be back. I'll be waiting. The truck backed slowly. Never rushed. Didn't turn around. Just rolled out the way it came. When they were gone, he didn't move. Not for a long time. Then he knelt on the porch, pulled back the loose board beneath the rocker. You okay? She was curled tight. Mud on her cheek. Eyes wide. Did they see you? No. Did you hear what they said? She nodded. You know who they are? Not their names. Have you seen them before? Yes. Where? The house with the stone steps. The one with the gray roof. She nodded. They watched from the hallway. Never blinked. He helped her up. Are you sure they're from the governor? That's what she said. Your mama. She said the ones in coats belong to the top floor. He led her inside, closed every curtain, bolted every window. They knew your full name. I never told it. They had it on paper. She sat at the table. She said that'd happen. What? That paper would chase me. How long have you been running? Since the second fire. He sat across from her. They come for other girls? She nodded. What happens to them? They stop remembering. You mean they forget? No. They stop being allowed to. He rubbed his jaw. They'll be back. Yes. They'll bring more. Yes. He stood. We need to hide you better. There's no better. There has to be. No. Just longer. He paced. You know what they want you for. They said I was picked. For what? They didn't say. He slammed his fist on the table. Why you? She looked at him. Calm. Because she wouldn't scream. He stared. She made them angry. He shook his head. I should have never let you stay. You didn't. He looked at her. You never told me your middle name. She looked away. Say it. No. Why not? She said it locks the door. What door? The one they come through. He sat again. Do you believe that? I've seen it. He didn't ask what she meant. He didn't want to know. I found the necklace. She nodded. I found the ledger. She nodded again. And your name in the well. Yes. So why are they after you now? Because you saw it too. He rubbed his temples. I've been marked before. She stood. This is different. He looked up. You scared? Yes. Good. Stay that way. Keep sharp. He unlatched the floorboard again. You'll sleep here tonight. They'll smell me. I'll scatter salt. They'll step over it. He pulled out the shotgun. They won't step past me. She stared at the barrel. You won't shoot them. You think not? They don't bleed like you think. The room fell quiet. She laid down under the floor, pulled the doll from her dress, its mouth still stitched. She placed it on her chest. If they take me, don't follow. I will. They want you worse. He paused. Why? Because you left the first time. He said, nothing. They don't like second chances. He covered her with the board. The house creaked once, and outside, somewhere too far to see, a different engine started. He was shaving over the tin basin when she stepped behind him. Didn't speak, didn't blink, just watched the steam rise off the hot water as the blade scraped skin. You ever wonder why your name was on those letters? She asked. He didn't turn. No. Why not? Because I knew they'd find me eventually. She stepped closer. They didn't find you. I'm standing here, ain't I? You opened the door. He dropped the razor into the basin, turned. What's that supposed to mean? She looked at the scar on his neck. Left side, jagged, shaped like a hook if you stared long enough. She reached up, touched it. He didn't move. I had it too, she said. He stared at her. She lifted her shirt slowly. Turned. There, right under the shoulder blade. Same shape, same angle, slightly smaller. You were branded? She didn't answer. He stepped closer. Who did this? She pulled the fabric down. They called it a mark of belonging. Belonging to who? Doesn't matter. It matters to me. She looked at him. Mama said if it ever showed on me, I had to leave. When did it show? Same week the second fire started. He sat on the edge of the bed. I got mine the day I turned 13, back of the church. Lantern light, smelled like tar and meat. She sat beside him. They said it was tradition. They said it was family. He rubbed the back of his neck. I never showed it to anyone. Though if I ignored it, it'd fade. It didn't. No. She looked at his hands. Was it just you? No. There were 6 of us, all boys, all lined up. What happened to the others? They screamed. Did you? He nodded. Loud. They said mine was a blessing. They told us it was a test. Did you pass? No. She held the doll in her lap. Its head tilted. They used to check mine every night. Make sure it didn't fade. Who did? The ones in coats. The governor's men. She nodded. They didn't call themselves anything. Just numbers. Each had a stitch on their cuff. 1 to 5. He stood, poured water into the basin again. Mine bled for days. She looked at the floor. Mama said mine didn't bleed. That meant something. Like what? She said it meant I was part of the second batch. He froze. What batch? The ones they didn't talk about. He looked out the window. Makes sense now, he muttered. What does? The nightmares. The sounds. The smell of metal. She pointed at his coat. What's in the pocket? He pulled it out. The photo. From the barn. He handed it to her. That's her again, she said. She's the one who held the brand. She had it on her wrist. He blinked. What? Under her glove. I saw it once. A different mark. Not like ours. He grabbed his jacket. Where are you going? To the barn. I need to see something. She followed. Up in the rafters, he pulled the box down again. Inside, more photos, notes, pages that smelled like smoke and bleach. He flipped one open. A list, names, numbers. Batch 2. He read aloud. She leaned over. Her name was there. So was his. Same surname. You see this? She nodded. They always knew. Knew what? That it would end with us. He clenched the paper. You think they branded us to find us later? No. To own us? No. To erase us. He leaned against the beam. They marked me. Then tell me to forget. They marked me. Then told Mama to run. He looked at her scar again. You think it's still active? What do you mean? You think they can follow it? They already are. He sighed. Why me? She said you were the first to leave without screaming. I screamed. She said, not out loud. They stood in silence. The wind slipped through the boards. The dog barked once, then lay back down. She said one day the marks would match. She said we'd find each other. And then, she said that'd be the real fire. He looked at her. You think she meant it literally? She shook her head. She said nothing burns louder than truth. He folded the photo, slipped it back into the pocket. We tell the sheriff? He already knows. What about the governor's men? They don't care about marks. What do they care about? Finishing what they started. He nodded. We don't let them. No. He touched his scar again. She touched hers too. And for the first time, it didn't hurt. Not yet. But something had started burning. She hadn't been seen in town since the last frost. Folks said she'd gone blind. Others said she'd just got tired of watching. But there she was, sitting on her porch like she'd never left, hands in her lap, Bible wrapped in cloth beside her. He didn't mean to stop, just meant to pass through for supplies. She called his name before he reached the post. Elias. He froze. She stood. You got a minute? He walked up slowly. Didn't think you remembered me. I remember too much. That's the problem. She handed him the wrapped book. This was hers. And yours. He didn't take it right away. Where'd you get this? She left it in my root cellar. Told me not to open it till someone came back. He unwrapped the cloth. The leather cover cracked with age. Smelled like smoke and pine. You sure it's hers? Open it. He did. The first page. 2. Names. Hers in soft ink. His in firmer, darker script beneath. The same last name. He blinked. I don't remember writing this. Maybe not with your hand. But it's yours. She told you? She didn't have to. He traced the edge of the page. I thought she died in the fire. She did. Then how? Not that fire. She sat down again. She said you'd come back when the girl found you. He looked at her. You know about her. She's been drawing circles in my garden since spring. She came to you? She watched. From the trees. Why didn't you tell anyone? Because some things ain't for townsfolk. He sat on the porch step. I keep asking who she is. She already told you. Not enough. She's the piece that didn't burn. The part you left behind. He closed the Bible. She has the mark. I know. She said I had it too. You do. And you knew. I knew when they took the others. Why not me? She said you didn't scream. So they let you walk. He stared at the dust. They made it look like I chose to leave. The widow nodded. That's the trick of it. She said I let her burn. You did. He stood. She didn't ask for help. She couldn't. She told me to run. She didn't mean forever. He looked at the sky. Have you ever seen them? The men in coats. Once. What do they want? Records, names. I gave them dust. He looked at the Bible again. What is this to them? Proof that you remembered he walked down the steps. What do I do with it? Don't burn it. He paused. What did she say? No. That's what I'm saying. He nodded once. Thank you. She called after him. Elias. He turned. You let her burn once. Don't do it again. He didn't answer. Didn't have to. Back at the house, the girl was drawing in the dust again. Circles overlapping now. No clear end. He held out the Bible. She didn't touch it. You found it. Yes. She said you would. He sat beside her. Your name's in here too. She nodded. She wrote it before I was born. He opened it again, ran his thumb over the faded edge. Why me? She said the fire started with you. She said a lot of things. She didn't lie. No. She drew one last circle, stopped. What do we do now? He looked at the house. There's one room left. The one under the sewing floor. He nodded. She said it was a root cellar. No. He stood. She said it was a memory. She followed him inside. They pulled back the rug, found the seam in the boards. Beneath, a narrow hatch. He opened it. Dark below. Stairs. He looked at her. Stay or come? Come. He led the way. At the bottom, cold, still air. A single chair, a lantern, and on the wall, more names. Not carved, burnt in. He lit the flame. She stepped forward. There's mine. He pointed. There's mine too. Same symbol beside both. A hook, a circle. She whispered. She said the truth was kept on fire. He nodded. Now it's ours. She reached into her pocket, pulled out a match. I don't want to forget again. He took it, hold it over the lantern. Then we remember. The light stayed, and above them the house didn't creak. It waited. He woke to the dog pacing, nails tapping the floor in uneasy circles, tail stiff, head low. The girl wasn't in her bed. He found her kneeling in the corner of the sewing room, quiet, still in her nightdress, dust clinging to her feet. Do you sleep at all? He asked. No. Why are you here? She kept something under the floor. Who? The one with the keys. He stepped closer. I thought you said she burned. She did. But not everything she left did. She ran her fingers along the edge of the floorboard, tapped it twice. Here. You sure? She said the house would creak differently when it was ready. He grabbed a chisel from the desk drawer, jammed it under the plank. It lifted easier than expected. Beneath it, a space cut into the dirt, and a cradle, small, handmade, one leg cracked but still holding. He knelt, ran his hand across the wood, still smelled faintly of ash. She used to rock it when nobody else was watching, the girl said. Who? My mama. This was yours? She nodded. He reached under it. Fingers brushed something cold. Metal. He pulled it out. A sheriff's badge. Bent. Split down the middle. Dried blood crusted along the edge. She didn't flinch. That's where he put her when she screamed. He looked at her. Who? The one with the stitched wrist. He turned the badge over. No number. Just a smear where it used to be. She said it was to mark her as a failure. Failed how? She cried too loud. He stood. Are you sure this is real? She said I wasn't supposed to know. He sat down. I remember when I left. The badge I turned in didn't look like this, because it wasn't this one. He held it up to the light. She said the man who wore it never left the house. Are you saying he died here? She said he got swallowed. He stared at the badge. I knew this badge. I knew the man who wore it. She said he took me from her arms and said, "This one don't get a name." He looked at her. "What did she tell you?" She said he smiled when she screamed. He lowered the badge. She said that's the sound he buried under the cradle. The room felt smaller. "You believe that?" She nodded. "Then why come back here?" "Because she said the badge needed to see the light again." He took a breath. "She said it needed to remember what it did." He stood. "This ain't proof." "No." "It's a warning." "To who?" "You." He stared at her. "What am I supposed to do with this?" "She said you'd know when you held it." He looked at the badge. His hand started shaking. "I watched them swear him in." "She said you turned away when it happened." "I didn't know what he was." "She said you did." "You just didn't say it out loud." He dropped the badge on the table. "Enough." She picked it up. "I'm keeping it." "Why?" "She said it still listens." He pointed to the cradle. "That thing belongs in the dirt." She said it already was. He pried another board, empty underneath. "She said some parts of the house won't rot. They just wait." The wind outside pushed against the shutters. "You think he's still here?" "I think the scream is." He looked at her. "Are you afraid?" "No." "You should be." She said you were. He knelt beside the cradle again. "Then help me move it." She grabbed one side. Together, they lifted it out. Underneath, nothing, just dirt. But it felt heavy. She pressed her hand to the soil. She said this was where memory sank deepest. He didn't speak. She said the man who wore that badge said, "No girl leaves marked." He clenched his fists. She said he made the mark anyway. He stood up fast. "Are you saying he did it?" "I'm saying he held the iron." He stepped back. "I was gone. I didn't see it. She said you heard it." He didn't deny it. "She said your silence was louder than his voice." He picked up the cradle. "I took it outside, set it on the firewood pile." She followed. "You burning it?" "No." "Why not?" "I want it to stay." To rot slowly. She placed the badge on top. She said it should face the wind. He turned it north. She stepped beside him. She said you wouldn't remember until your hands got dirty again. He looked down at his palms, already stained with ash and dirt. "Then maybe it's time," he said. She nodded. She said the floor still remembers her weight. They went back inside. I didn't speak for a long while, but the house creaked differently that night, as if something underneath had finally started listening. He lit the lamp at dawn. The Bible still sat on the table, untouched since the night before. She hadn't asked about it. I hadn't looked at it, but she was watching now. "You said it was hers," he said. She nodded. "She said to give it to you." He opened the front cover again. Slowly this time. Not just the names, not just the ink he thought he'd written, but something beneath. A second layer, a faint script written in an older hand, slanted, pressed into the page, deep. Enough that the paper bowed slightly. He tilted it toward the light. "This child belongs to Reverend E.R. Keep her from fire. She bears the name that ends the line." He didn't speak. She stood across from him, quiet. "I didn't see that before." "You weren't ready." His fingers traced the indentation of the letters. "You know what that means?" She said you were the start and the stop. He closed the book. "This isn't her Bible." "No, it's mine." She nodded. "How long has she had it?" "Since I was born." His chest tightened. "Where did she get it?" She said it was under the church. Buried with the names, he looked at the spine. Leather worn through in the corners, a thread dangling from the binding. She said it wasn't written by men. "What does that mean?" She said it was written by fire. He opened it again. Further in, more handwriting. Not scripture, not notes, just sentences. Scattered. Out of order. He won't remember until the house sighs. The girl carries the circle. The hook is older than the scar. He shut it. "You think someone planned this?" She said plans are just memories we haven't lived yet. He rubbed his face. "I was never meant to be a preacher." She said you were never meant to leave. He stood. I walked to the door, pushed it open. The light was soft outside. He didn't step through. She followed. She said the land is closing now. He turned to her. "What does that mean?" "That you either remember or repeat." He went to the porch rail, hold the Bible in both hands. "I could burn it." She said that won't stop it. What would she say? She said you have to read it. All of it? No, just the last page. He sat on the steps, flipped carefully through the brittle pages. The last one had no text, just one line scrawled in the bottom corner. When the fire speaks, don't argue. Walk in. He stared. She said you wrote that. He looked up at her. How could I have? She said you did. Just not yet. His breath caught. And what's the fire? She said it comes when both names are spoken together. He stood. No. You have to. I won't bring that back. It never left. He shook his head. This is madness. She said the truth always feels that way at the end. He opened the Bible again, pointed to the inscription. Keep her from the fire. She bears the name that ends the line. You understand now? Not all of it, but enough. He stepped closer. Say it. She paused, then softly. Sarah Beth Ruth Elias. He exhaled sharply. That's not possible. She said name loops if you don't break them. That's my full name. She said it became hers when you left. He stared at the Bible, the blood drained from his hands. You're not my daughter. No. You're not hers either. No. Then who are you? I'm what was left. He dropped the Bible on the step, backed away. She said when you saw it, you'd want to run again. I should, but you won't. He looked toward the barn, toward the old church in the distance. I buried her, he whispered, only part of her. She screamed. Yes. I didn't go back. She said you didn't have to. She sent me forward instead. He closed his eyes. You're a curse. No, I can't carry this. You already are. He picked up the Bible. Hold it tight. She said when the house sighs, you'll know where to go. The wind shifted. The porch creaked behind him, a long, deep groan through the beams. He turned. I looked back at the door, then at her. She was waiting, barefoot, hands folded, like she always had been. So, she asked, you believe me now? He didn't answer. He just stepped inside, and the door closed behind them. The house groaned again as he stepped over the threshold. This time it didn't sound like wood. It sounded like a breath held too long, then let go all at once. The girl stood just behind him, her shadow blending with his, like they'd always shared the same shape. Where's the sigh coming from? He asked. She pointed toward the hearth. It always came from behind the fire. He stared at the stonework. Ash piled in the grate, a single char line curling up the wall like a memory someone had tried to scrub away. There's no door there. She said it never opened with hands. He crouched, pressed his fingers against the center brick. Cool. Rough. Nothing moved. She said it only opened for fire. He looked at the matchbox on the mantel. I picked it up. I thought we were done burning things. We're not burning. We're calling. He struck the match. I watched the flame catch, small and clean. He held it to the center brick. Nothing. Then a soft sound, like something behind the stone inhaled. The brick darkened and began to glow. She stepped back. The wall cracked, not like breaking, like unfolding. Stone slid away, slowly. No dust, no splinters, just a space where there hadn't been one. And beyond it, not a room, not really. No floor, no corners, just a long tunnel of heat and wood smoke. He stepped forward. The girl didn't follow. You coming? He asked. She shook her head. She said, I'll wait here. For what? For you to remember the last part. He looked back into the glow. It pulsed like a heart. He walked in. The walls shimmered, then vanished. There were no walls, just fire on all sides, not burning, not biting, just showing. His own hands, years younger, holding a child he didn't name, a woman screaming in a hallway he'd already forgotten. The sheriff's badge on a table, bloody before the cradle ever sat above it. Then the fire whispered. She was never meant to carry this alone. He turned. A shape stood in the center. Not the girl, not the woman. Something between. It reached out. Hold the Bible. Open to the final page. Say her name and let it end. He tried. His throat closed. The fire moved closer. Say it. He looked at the inscription again. Keep her from fire. She bears the name that ends the line. He forced the words out. Sarah Beth Ruth Elias. The fire dropped. The air cooled. He fell to his knees. The room vanished. He was back in the house. Alone. The girl is gone. The heart is cold. The Bible closed in his lap. He stood slowly. I walked to the front porch, looked out. In the field, just past the fence line, the dog sat, watching. And beside it, a figure, smaller now, quieter. She waved once, then turned, and walked into the fog that hadn't been there before. He didn't follow. This time he remembered.